Welcome to Hypnotic Sessions. Charleenkaw clutches the spatula that belonged to a missing woman. She's attempting to step into the woman's shoes, so to speak, and to understand when, why, and how she disappeared. This isn't a hoax or a cheap parlor trick. This is an actual crime scene investigation. Charleenkaw says she can see through the eyes of the victim. She can feel the panic and the horror and the past. And by the time she is finished, she will have a much better idea how to proceed in search of Betty Chameleon.
It's not just a disappearance. It's a murder!
Charleenkaw is a psychic, and she is using hypnotic sessions to help the world. Beetrice and Charleenkaw, living in the sleepy town of Calgary, Alberta, have truly made their mark in the world of paranormal investigations. Charleenkaw, who was a student of a master hypnotic Tibetan genius and spent many years learning and honing her supernatural abilities in the mountains, has become the first name in the phone book of psychic answers to the question we are all still asking. Beetrice is her partner and helps out with various things. They work closely with the local law enforcement and have had to fight for the approval of people all around the world who think they are probably just a couple of kooks off the street. Lieutenant Niffles from the Calgary Police Force used to be one of those people.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. Beetrice and Charleenkaw freaked me out at first. But it's more like they were silly, like, who believes in this supernatural hocus-pocus mumbo-jumbo anyway? Just a couple of kooks off the street. But we were having trouble with a big case a few years ago, and Jimmy, Sergeant Jimmy, God rest his soul, Jimmy says to me, we should bring in a psychic. Man, I thought he was drinking, because, you know, he was always drinking. But he was serious. I says, we're not a big police department with a million clams to blow and a couple of fruitcakes. But the truth was, we were stumped. To make a long story short, they found the reptiles, and I became a believer.
Tell me about your involvement with the police.
Well, we've been on many cases. I can't count how many. At least three.
At least three?
At least three. And really, they contact us when they're at their wits' end. They don't know who the killer is. Sometimes they don't even know who the victim is. And we get called in to read the situation, look at the evidence.
And solve the case, honestly.
And feel the vibrations, and sometimes talk to the dead so that we can figure out who did it.
Specifically, talking to the dead is really helpful in figuring out who the victim is in the end anyway, especially if the police don't know.
One time we did orange peel readings, and that was amazing.
It was very successful. It did end us up solving the case. That was the second case we worked on together for this police station specifically.
Yeah.
And is it like a specific type of, like, do you buy like navel oranges or like?
I think mandarin oranges work the
Mandarin
best.
oranges and blood oranges work
yes,
well
they
too.
peel really well.
Yes, especially
And-
if we're looking into a murder case, because the blood oranges and then the blood of the crime, sometimes they can mingle together and it can really help reach the victim.
That intention
Yeah.
is very important there.
Makes a lot of sense. So do you have proof that psychic investigation is useful?
I mean, look at all the cases we've found.
Exactly.
Speaks for itself.
Look at all these files.
Right? Like,
Every single one of them.
To carry this gun if I was not psychically, imbued with powers.
There's your proof right there, honestly.
Exactly.
So, what are psychic powers? What is a psychic? And do they have special powers? Where did all of this begin, you might ask? And should we be afraid of these very special people because they might have powers? My name is Douglas Weisberg, and together we shall uncover these diabolical mysteries. The word psychic is derived from the Greek word psychikos, of the mind, or mental, and refers in part to the human mind, or psyche. The Greek word also means soul. Does this mean that psychic powers are derived from the soul? Is this absolute proof of the existence of God? It can be the ability to tell the future, as in possibly the most famous psychic of all time, Nostradamus, who in the 16th century accurately foretold thousands of events, including the invention of cars, the murder of Jim, the fall of the dog family of Ohio, the sinking of the SS Hoopla, and more. Modern spiritualism was the belief that spirits of the dead could be contacted by mediums to lend insight to the living. Is this how Charleenkaw has gained her power? Is she contacting the dead? Maybe even Jim? It's possible, and the most likely answer